Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a lovely day, night, evening, whatever it might be. Today, I'm going to talk to you about PD arrays and more specifically, PD arrays that have already been mitigated. Now, if you're like me, then you have been taught to avoid mitigated PD arrays in your trading. Now, I've recently been learning about mitigated PD arrays and how strong and impactful they are with your trading. Now, there's some very specific PD arrays that we're going to be looking at today. And the reason why we use mitigated PD arrays is because price is clearly showing some sort of interest in this area. Now, whether that's a reaction, whether that's showing support, whether that's showing resistance, we are aiming to target these PD arrays again. So with unmitigated PD arrays, we do not have this data. We do not have previous data which shows us that price likes to react from this level. So this is why it's dangerous to use PD arrays that are unmitigated. Whereas with mitigated PD arrays, as I said before, we've already been shown that these levels are working and that price reacts to this level. So let's use them again. So what I'm going to show you is a few examples, and then I'm going to drag to a random point in time and then show you that it's not just a one-off, and that there is something deeper to this, and there's something deeper down. And the more you research it and the more you read between the lines, the more clear it becomes and the crazier it is to understand. Now, there's a couple of things that we must look for um, first. So, all PD arrays that we're looking for today must be on the left side of the curve. Okay. So, when I say that, I mean this way. Okay. So, we always look left for our PD arrays. Now, the most important thing to look for in these PD arrays is the PD array must be used in a sweep of liquidity. Okay, now what I mean by that is we must use the first PD array in the sweep of liquidity. So it must be the first PD array in the sweep. So as you can see on this one I've marked here, to the left-hand side, we have buy-side liquidity. And what do? We sweep it. Okay, we sweep it with these up close candles here. Now, if we zoom in a bit, what we have marked is the first PD array, so the first fair value gap that sweeps this liquidity, as you can see here. Okay, so what do we have? We have a sweep of liquidity. The first PD array, which is this PD array here, this fair value gap, is the one we mark out. And that is the two things you must have in order to make these PD arrays valid. A sweep of liquidity and the first one out of a series. Now, what do we see then when price reacts to this PD array? Price comes up, down, reacts, up, down, reacts, up, down, reacts. And you might be thinking, okay, that's pretty normal. But what you don't realize is this is a week. This is a week of price action here. And we are reacting 4 or 5 times. But the super crucial thing is, and the super crazy thing is, if we look over here, this is now July the 17th to the 1st of August. So this is 2 weeks down the line. This is 2 weeks. So we break through the PD array. We break through the bullish PD array. And although we've broken through it, we still use the same PD array, which is now resistance instead of support. So we break through, price comes down, we come back up, and we use this PD array as resistance. So over here, it was support. Price is bouncing off, buys, bouncing off, buys, bouncing off, buys. But over here, although we smash through it still, we can still use this same PD array as resistance instead of support. So this is why it's super crucial, because This is not by accident. This is not just a level that we ignore. Whereas, let me show you. If we use the second PD array, although yes, we obviously get bounces off it, we do not use it as resistance. Whereas the first one we do use as resistance. So that just let that sit in. So 2 weeks later, 2 weeks later, we are still using the same gap as resistance, the same gap. So every single one of these opportunities here is a buy. But when we break through the gap, and people might be thinking, okay, this fair value gap now becomes invalid, let's delete it. No, because you can use it as resistance. So you can still use that as a level for your trading. So if we go back to here, look, if we go into the 1 minute time frame, we hit that perfectly. You see, so if I was to enter off this, I'd wait for a closure below the up close candles that swept the high. I'll target here. I'll put my stop loss above a swing high, sorry, and I'll target external range liquidity, just like that. And this is you just need to bear this in mind when you're trading because it's not there just randomly. It's not there just out of the blue. And I'm going to show you now a few different ideas that I've seen or that you can use as well. So I'm just going to scroll through and let me go to a random point in time. Oh, there's another one I've got marked out. Let's clear all drawings so you don't think I'm just showing you ones that I've already seen. I'm going to scroll somewhere like here. Okay, so what have we got? And I'm not saying this is going to work all the time. I'm not saying you need to mark out every single PD array, but you should just be cautious and careful of what you mark out because this is not random. This is not just, oh, this is just a random level. I think this has got more meaning, and I'm not going to go too deep into it, but do your own research and see what you think. So here we have an order block. Okay, we mark this order block out. So this is a 1 hour order block. As you can see, it's the last up close candle before we sweep liquidity. So the liquidity sweep is here and also that level above as well. So let's just play price through and see how it reacts to this level. Let's just be quicker. Let me just go back through. Let me find it. So there's our order block. Let me pull it all the way out. And as you can see, look, it's coming up to nearly a month after, a month later. We've broken through the level. We've broken through this level. We're using it as resistance, support, sorry. We're using it as support. We break through, okay, we break through again, but we're still using this same level of support. Now this is almost 2 months later. This is the 2nd of March. We're up to the 23rd of May. So we are a couple of months past the time and we're still using the same areas as support and resistance. So I'm going to find one more example because hopefully you get my idea of what I'm talking about here. Hopefully this is making sense to you that it's not completely random and these levels are important and you should be using these levels in your trading. So let's have a look then. So we've got a down close candle here. I'd say we've got an order block here, or we can count this as the order block, but let's count this as the order block here. Let's just see. As I said, I don't know what the outcome is going to be of these, but if we just drag out, so we're dragging out here, we're dragging out months here, so let's just have a look. So we are 2nd of Jan to the 3rd of Feb. So this is 1 month of price action. So what do we see? So price is again consolidating the area. We break through. Okay, we don't quite tap it there, but what do we do here? We push up. We use this still as support. We're using it as support. Again, not quite here, but as you can see, we are consolidating in the area. So it's clearly an area of interest. It's clearly an area that you need to use in your trading because look at the wicks that we get out of this area. We're still reacting out of this same area. And some of you might be thinking, oh, this is just coincidence, but I've shown you 3 examples in 7 minutes. I've shown you 3 examples. That is years and years of price action for you guys to check through. Years of price action. I'm going to show you one more, just so you don't think I'm completely talking out my arse. So we don't actually sweep there, but we sweep here. So we sweep area of liquidity there, and it's not going to count that. So let's see here. Okay, so we sweep this level of liquidity here. We sweep 2 levels of liquidity actually. 1, 2. So we sweep those 2 levels of liquidity and also this internal range of liquidity here. Let's mark out the first fair value gap. I'm going to drag this puppy out. Now you can just see, even though I'm not zooming in, you can see how we're reacting to this level. So, okay, we might be breaking through it, but we're still using it as support and resistance, as you can see here. And obviously, as you zoom out, it looks a bit more scary, but when you zoom in, look, price comes down, hits this level, there's a buy opportunity in there. Price consolidates, price consolidates, price consolidates, price consolidates. We're still reacting off this level. We're not breaking through it. We're not breaking through it massively, but again, it hit through this level, we react off it. There's just constant reactions off this one level. And this is like, what, 3 months later? So I hope this makes a little bit more sense. I hope this is showing to you guys that this is not completely random. We are not trading just randomness. There's clearly levels, pardon the pun, there's clearly levels to these levels because what I've shown you, I've just shown you 4 examples of how we can use this in our trading. So let me just tell you once more what you need to find. So the first PD array in a move that sweeps liquidity. Okay, that is it. That is it. The first PD array in a move that sweeps liquidity. And that is as simple as that. So what I'd recommend you guys doing, don't take my word for it. Go and research for yourself. Go and look back at the charts. Go and see what you think, because I'm researching this at the minute and it's making a lot of sense to me, and I'm 100% going to be using this for my trading going forward. So do your own research, of course, but see what you think and see if you can find these PD arrays and see how price reacts to it. Hope that helps. Hope you have a nice day. Comment your thoughts, let me know what you think, and I'll see you soon. Peace.